welcome to everyone present here. And Shubham has been saying that it is a creator con for Gen Z. And I don't know what am I doing here, because I don't think I belong to Gen Z per se. Anyway, since I've been told to go for a keynote speech. First of all, thank you, Shubham, and I like the word, the name of the organization, Organized Chaos, with a Z in between. Yeah. So that is what, perhaps this is for Gen Z. So this is Organized Chaos with a Z. And I like the name because whenever I get anything which comes from a AI text generator these days, it seems to me like an organized chaos, because whenever you use all these text generators without using your brain, it turns into organized chaos most of the time. And I don't belong to Gen Z, but let me tell you, since we are talking about LinkedIn today, I started using LinkedIn a little early in the day. That is somewhere around 2009, because I was pretty late in joining the social platform called Facebook. And since I joined that late, I thought that I should not do the same mistake again, and let me join this new upcoming platform soon. And when I joined LinkedIn, I realized that for almost last 1 or 2 years, I'd been using Facebook as LinkedIn, because that is how I wanted to use Facebook. And when I saw LinkedIn, I realized that, okay, this is the gap which existed, and this is how I wanted to share things with my professional network. And so LinkedIn was what I was looking for, and I started using it in 2009. The people who are here today and listening to me at the moment, most of you might belong to Gen Z, and you might be wondering, when was 2009? So, guys, yes, LinkedIn started that early, and it became popular later. But yes, it has been around since then. And when it started off, they had a beautiful feature called LinkedIn Pulse. I don't know how many of you have used it or you've heard about it, but yes, Pulse helped us write some amazing articles. There was no word limit, and you could write good stuff there. So I remember writing a lot of articles on Pulse in 2011-12 going forward. And yes, LinkedIn changed a lot of our professional connecting habits. It changed us in a lot of ways. And so I've been a fan of LinkedIn since I started using it profusely, consistently, regularly, somewhere in 2014. That was the time when I started using it absolutely regularly. And the disclaimer is, I'm not a LinkedIn influencer. I don't use it for any kind of marketing or I would say branding purposes. I use it for putting out there whatever I know. So it is genuinely a knowledge sharing platform for an educationist like me. I do run some social entrepreneurship, ventures, and there also, when I use LinkedIn, I use it more for connecting with people, and that is how it has always been. And I remember that when just a couple of days ago, there was a gentleman who's a professor, a visiting professor at our institute, and he must be 75 plus. And he came to me and he said that, I want to send you a LinkedIn recommendation invite. So I said, he's worked in Hindustan Liver for all his life. And so I was like, what do you need a recommendation for? And he said that, I go to Canada every summer because my daughter lives there. And when I spend time there, I want to teach in some universities there. And so this time I met some of the people in Canada, and they asked me that, we want to see your LinkedIn profile, and we want to see if someone has recommended you for your teaching skills on LinkedIn. If that is there, then we might invite you next year to take some sessions there. So he sent me a recommendation, and I saw it and I wanted to write a recommendation. But then 48 hours passed away, and he sent me a reminder for the same, that please do it quickly because I need this recommendation. And so that made me understand that, okay, LinkedIn is so popular and people want it, because I thought maybe, it is more popular in India. I have seen all of us using it more like everywhere. We spend so much of our time on LinkedIn these days, and we establish connections, we talk to people. Many a times we are not carrying visiting cards anymore, because we think that, we'll connect on LinkedIn and we'll take it from there. So that's how it works for us. But in your Europe and US also, I've met so many people. When I tell them that, okay, I want to use LinkedIn, they're like, yeah, okay, but not that they're that active on LinkedIn. But yes, in India, we all feel that it's a great platform and we use it very often. And I vouch for how easily we know about what others, our peers are doing, what other people are doing. We get inspired by them, we learn so much from them. So it's a great space to be in. And the only social media platform that I use is LinkedIn. Of course, my assistant posts some of the things that I post on LinkedIn on other platforms too. But honestly speaking, I don't use those platforms anymore. Maybe for last 5 years, I've not used other platforms. What I use is, of course, LinkedIn. And Shubham told me that this is a comprehensive exploration of the multifaceted world of LinkedIn. That's what it is like. And so I'm just going to share some of my insights, my experiences, and maybe my 2 cents on how it can help others. Because today, the whole day, there is a lineup of a lot of people who are going to be talking to you about using different aspects of LinkedIn. And you have amazing LinkedIn influencers the whole day. I'm not even an influencer. So I'm just going to share how I have been using it and what I think works the best on LinkedIn. So the biggest thing that works for me is that whenever you share something, please share it authentically. That is, don't spend so much time preparing, designing, creating a post. And also, please do not obsess over doing a post regularly. That is, consistent posting is very important, whether we have something important to say or not. But we need to say something, because I've not posted anything for 3 4 days. No, that's not how it works. It is more important that when you want to say something, you create a post quickly and just put it out there. And it is more in a real response situation where we just say what we want to say, because these are all people who are working like us, who have their own struggles. We all have our own struggles, our own fears, our own fantasies every day, and so we work accordingly. And so it works like that, right? So I completely believe that authenticity is the key for any kind of creator. So, as a creator, we should be focusing on that. We should be writing what we want to write in a authentic tone, whatever our voice is. So, we should be focusing on our voice and use it like that. So, I generally do not edit anything unless my daughter calls me and tells me that there is a, you've not spaced it properly, or your 2 or 3 hashtags are not right, or why have you mentioned so many of the hashtags. And so when the Gen Z calls me out on something that I've done and they find it very funny or awkward, so then, I might go and edit something. Otherwise, I generally write things the way I want to and I just finish it like that. Apart from that, another thing that I want to focus on today is this is my you can say it's my pet peeve. It happens with me all the time that there are so many people who come on what you've written. Like, they will come on your feed, they will read, they will see what you are posting, and they will put a like, or maybe they will comment. But my problem is, most of the people do not actually read what we are writing. Most of us do not have time to read. We do not have the time, we do not have the inclination, we do not have the patience to read what the other person is saying. And when we call it a knowledge sharing platform, I think more important is not to just glance through what is there, but then spend some time and read something which is, which makes sense, which is meaningful for us. So if you actually want to use the platform, the right thing is to find the people whom you want to learn from, and then actually read what they are posting. Merely liking a post is not enough. So my suggestion or my focus would be that we need to spend actually some time on reading what is there out on LinkedIn. Another thing that catches my attention today is, you know I call it some kind of data desperation. We all are so desperate to have growing numbers in whatever we are doing. There has to be a week on week growth in the number of followers you have, in the number of likes you have. So the analytics need to grow week on week. That is how the expectations from organizations are. That is how expectations from uh, peer group is, or from people is, and that is what we expect from ourselves, that there has to be a continuous graph that goes up. And I have a little problem with that, because this kind of data desperation stresses us out for no reason. We waste our time looking at these analytics, which are not important week on week. We do not need to focus on an actual growth every week. We might engage with everyone on the platform, and there would be a growth increase in if we are saying something which is meaningful, which is impactful. And the growth might come in some tranches, it might come in some spurts, or it might not come. But then if we are consistently putting something meaningful, we will find our voice as well as our audience gradually. So this data desperation of getting uh, incremental increase every week, every month, is not how it should work. And even the organizations, if they feel that there has to be a growth like that, maybe in digital marketing it might be very important for everybody, but I don't think it is possible. And then LinkedIn is a knowledge sharing platform, right? I understand that we do a lot of marketing, we do a lot of personal branding, we get a lot of there's a customer acquisition that happens through LinkedIn for a lot of businesses, and we all want to become influencers. So of course, most of the time we want that there should be more people following us. It gives some kind of kick sometimes, but I still don't agree that there has to be a constant focus on this increase. And if we start focusing, I think the basic reason why Reid Hoffman must have started LinkedIn, it gets lost somewhere. I'm a great fan of Reid Hoffman, by the way. Of course, he sold LinkedIn to Microsoft in 2016, but I still, I listen to his podcasts. They're amazing. He's a great creator. And so his creating ideas, guys, you must all be, focusing on or listening to him will help. His podcast, Masters of Scale, is an amazing place to start. And I swear by that podcast. I listen to it so often. uh, Another thing that I would like to talk about is there are a lot of LinkedIn skills badges that come out. There are LinkedIn learning resources which are there. There are some short programs which are there, and so they are wonderful. And I've used some of the LinkedIn learning solutions myself, and I realized that the content is very good. But I think that we need to find out the perfect alignment. What aligns best for us, what works best for us, let's try and focus on that. If we need maybe a premium subscription, why should we going to buy a sales navigator for that? So we need to know that what exactly works for us, what is the right fit. Do I need a LinkedIn skills badge in a particular domain? Do I want to do a particular LinkedIn learning course? Or is it important for me to go for this subscription? Or I can only come here and learn without spending. So you need to find out the correct fit. That is what is important. uh, the final thing that I want to say, of course, I know you gave me 20 minutes. I want to finish it at 15, because if there is a question or if there's something, I would be happy to answer that. And otherwise, 15 minutes is enough for Gen Z, I believe. So the final thing that I want to say here is that connect with people on LinkedIn. Don't add connections. The Gen Z, since they want to gather some connections, since they want that our LinkedIn should grow quickly. So a lot of time I receive so many invitations, and I wonder that is it. Do I know the person, or how is this person going to gain something out of what I am writing about? So I wonder that many a times, and I always feel that just adding connections for the sake of increasing the number doesn't make much sense. And we say all the time that real friendship works. These social media platforms do not work. That's true to some extent, but yes, in the professional arena, many of the times, the community that we have on LinkedIn, it really works well. I have made amazing connections on LinkedIn. We've stayed in touch. If we meet once in a conclave, a conference, at some event, and then we connect, and I actually don't carry a visiting card anymore, like so many of us these days, because the only thing we say is, yeah, either we share the LinkedIn profile immediately on a QR code, or maybe we just send a personalized invite, and we stay in touch ever since. I do not have phone numbers of a lot of my friends, because we talk on LinkedIn all the time, so that happens. But it is important to connect. It is important to use the connections for learning. It is important to be a giver. It is important that we share mutually things which work for us. But adding connections is not something which I'm a great fan of. So this is something that I would want to know, and I'm really excited to hear from other speakers today who would have more gyan to give when it comes to other aspects of LinkedIn. So this is all from my side. Thank you, Shubham, for having me here, and giving me the impression that I still can represent Gen Z, or can talk to them and share some good things. So thank you so much for having me.